Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a match between Zest and Dark. Got this from Wardy, an excellent streamer. You probably have heard of him and seen him cast professional matches on professional tournaments. And if you haven't subscribed to him on YouTube, go ahead and do so, and follow him on Twitch as well. Both links are in the description. Alright, so bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. It is Dark. And in the top right-hand corner, it is the pink Protoss player, Zest. Alright, man, Zest, spoiler alert for anyone who didn't watch Katowice, Zest won. Well, he beat Serral. He beat Serral at Katowice to move on into the final. He didn't win the final, but still, holy smoke, Zest is playing really well right now. Dark is playing extremely well, too. I'm really excited to see what these two extremely high-level, possibly the best Protoss player on planet Earth right now versus possibly the best Zerg player on planet Earth. The pylon block goes down for Zest. Hey, are you stuck in your house? Yeah, I am too. We are all stuck in our houses here. Maybe not all of us. Some people who work in the food services industries and other important transportation things and maybe stuff like that, they have to go into work. But yeah, I work in a computer job, so I basically have been stuck at home for the last, week or so now. My kids are home from school. The pylon cancel, and then the pylon comes back up. Dark's already taken his third base as a natural anyway. He's not worried about this. So, if you're home because of the coronavirus or COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, I like calling it the coronavirus. It just, it's better. It feels less scientific, more conversational to call it coronavirus. Anyway, if you're stuck at home, just keep in mind, I have like 3,000 videos on my channel. That is not an exaggeration. I hit my 5-year mark recently. There are so many casts on my channel of high-level StarCraft 2 action. There's a ton of Brood War on there as well. If you want to get into Brood War, now's a good time for it. Go back, watch the archive. Go through my epic playlist. If there's an epic tag on a game, it likely earned the epic tag. So check it out. Spend some time here. If you have any questions about the things that you watch, leave a comment, and I will be happy to respond to it. I will respond to a comment no matter what video you watch, no matter when it was posted, because I keep track of that stuff and I can see it, and I am extremely responsive to that sort of thing. Adept on the way here from Zest. Nothing too crazy from him. Dark's third base starts at about, actually pre-2:30 here, so he gets it up earlier than perhaps normal, but Dark has been known to do this in the past. He will get that third up before his queens do anything. Other players will wait for the queens to start and then get the third. Nah. Dark will go for the highly macro opening and try to make something happen with it. Twilight Council coming up. Oh, the Ling got inside the house. I mean, the Zergling is dead, but he scouted the Twilight. That is disastrous for Zest. One of the best ways to kill Zerg right now as Protoss is to do something that they don't scout and they don't see coming. And if they see it coming, it's so much easier for them to hold. Robotics facility coming in. This could be anything from a Resonating Glaive Adept all-in to something of an Archon Harass with Warp Prism. Either way, I feel like Warp Prism's going to be a deal. Oh, he was doing Resonating Glaives and he canceled it. He's like, I think I got scouted. What do we do instead? Dark Shrine. Yeah, alright, so we're going to do some Archon stuff instead. He was thinking about Resonating Glaives, but he just weighed his options there for a second. Roach Warren's already on the way, and if you have a bunch of Roaches when the Adepts show up, even if they have Resonating Glaives, you're going to be just fine. So where we have seen that kill players like Serral in the past on the channel, looks like Dark's going to be ready for this one. Gateway. Dark's trying up in a position where he can't get sniped by anything. And again, Dark doesn't have any vision here. The only reason he even scouted anything at all was he luckily got a Zergling in when the wall was open, just barely. Normally, that does not happen. Zest just got a little bit unlucky. Dark got a little bit lucky, and as a result, Dark got the scout off, and now I think Zest is in trouble. We're going to saturate these bases is my question. This is a lot of Roaches and Ravagers, and this feels pretty aggressive all of a sudden out of Dark. That's the trick, man. Zerg can go with what looks like an incredibly macro opening where he's not going to attack you for 10 minutes, and then suddenly he doesn't quite saturate his bases, and there's a bunch of Roaches and Ravagers coming to rip your face off. So we'll see. We will see how Zest can hold against this. The Zerglings are coming up to see what they're dealing with. The answer is not much. There's a Stalker here, and the Warp Prism's moving out with a couple a couple of Depths in it. Maybe going to warp in some Dark Templar when they can, as the Dark Shrine is done. But Ravagers are here, and the Zerg is inside the house, and DTs are here to defend. That is massive. If these DTs weren't here, I think this game is just over. Look at them holding the wall. Look at them dealing with the roaches and ravagers already inside the house. This is awesome. Crucible dodged by the Dark Templar like a boss. The ravagers are like, hey, come out here. Come out here. Dodge it. No, the Dark Templar didn't dodge it. We're sneaking and squeezing inside here. Oh, boy. A bunch of these probes are going to go down. It is not good. This is really not good. The Zerglings are a huge, huge threat to the economy. The DTs are killing as fast as they can. Crucible is going down. Ravagers doing what they can here. But you know what? I think the DTs may have held. Although more lings are showing up. A DT does warp in at the very last second. Oh, Zealot does, actually. Zealot's not going to hold this as well as a DT would. See, he didn't even make this into an Overseer. Actually, hold on. He doesn't have a lair. Never mind. That would explain a lot. So going for DTs here. My gosh, Zest. Is he holding this? This might be the first time I've seen this held. Honestly, Zerg players have such a high success rate with this style of attack. I mean, Terrans can go for a couple tanks. Protoss, you know, a couple Immortals would be nice here, but DT's actually pretty good considering the fact that there is no lair for the Zerg player when they do this kind of a thing. Look at all these lings that Dark made that can't do anything right now. This is kind of amazing. Archon coming up in a corner. This Archon DT thing might be extremely problematic. Spores are up at all three of the bases, so it's not going to be like a free-for-all for Dark Templar here. This is a good game. This first 6 minutes alone has been pretty amazing. Archons come up just in time to avoid getting surrounded there. Where do the DTs go? Extra. Nope, Spore planting itself at the top. If that Spore gets focused down... I mean, sure, Free Overlord is nice, but if that Spore dies and DTs can kind of just wander in here... Ling's going for the surround against the Archons. Roach is trying to do what they can. Queen's trying to take down to the War Prism, but Archon's doing okay. One of them goes down, but the other two are still super healthy. Oh, that's right. That's where the DTs went. They turned into Archons. I was like, hey, where are my Dark Templar at? I kind of feel like maybe Dark Templar would have been better. If he kills this Spore and Dark Templar just start going to town, I think Dark has to abandon his third base entirely here. I know it was the second base that he made, but we're going to call it his third just because it's in the third base location. Hot diggity. Are we even? We're even. It's 40 to 40 workers. It's 2 base to 3 base. Zest is going to try to take a third here. It feels like right about now. The Archons are doing what they can, but I think they had a small window. I think there was a tiny window in there where there weren't a lot of roaches and ravagers out. I really feel like if there had been Dark Templar and they'd taken down that Spore, this third base would have been forfeit, but he made Archons instead. Would have been harder to take down the Spore, I guess, if there were DTs hitting it rather than Archons from distance, but still, I'm second-guessing a little bit. This is a tough game. This is a tough game to play, especially against Dark, who's an incredible Zerg player. So Zest is doing okay. The problem for Zest is now he's getting into late game versus Zerg. That's not something that anybody wants to do. Not any of the Protoss players on Earth right now, I don't think. Nobody feels comfortable with doing it. They got rid of infested Terrans, but then Vipers just started to look more OP, and then it started looking like... Started looking like maybe Abduct was a huge problem. I mean, yeah. At what point do we stop complaining about it? I suppose maybe when another race other than Zerg wins a premier tournament. That is what we would like to discuss in that area, right? Right. Blink coming in. Immortals coming in. Army supply 39 to 32. Zest has a lead, which is good because it's going to be more cost efficient with your units compared to the Zerg. He's going to get Storm. I'd like to see him get Storm against all these Roaches and Ravagers. I think Storm is your best bet, although Immortals are pretty good against those Roaches for sure. Is that finally a lair? Yeah, Dark is finally getting a lair. Really macroing up hard right now. Just making enough units to stay alive while continuing to macro up. He's at 60 workers now compared to 54 for Zest. Can't believe we don't have the income tab. I thought we would play these with the Game Heart mod. Wardy. I'm sure he wants to, but sometimes the players create these lobbies and don't do the mod, and it gets missed, and it happens. It happens to me when I'm casting for Africa sometimes, which, by the way, I do every other week on africatv.com/Falcon Paladin, if you want to come check it out sometime. If you follow me on Twitter or follow Africa TV on Twitter, you'll find announcements as to when these are. Again, they're every 2 weeks. They can be anywhere from Friday night U.S. time to Sunday afternoon U.S. time. It's kind of all over the place, but it's usually a weekend when people are a little bit generally more available, although considering the quarantines that are going on around the world, I don't know. Maybe we could do one like on a Tuesday morning. It would be fine. That said, still working. Like, I'm still working here. I still put in an 8-hour day for my employer. Just, you know, VPNing from home, connecting from my computer to my work PC, and then just doing it that way, which is actually not too bad. I kind of honestly want to sort of do it that way all the time. Although, it is nice. It is nice to have just the camaraderie of the people at the office and having conversations with people about stuff at the water cooler. Or, in our case, the freestyle machine, because my employer pays for a free Coke freestyle machine down in the break room. We'll go down there and hang out for a bit, talk about things, but can't really do that anymore, and I am going to miss that. Absolutely. There's just a social aspect to being in the office that matters, you know what I mean? Range on the way for the Hydralisks that are now popping for Dark. Let's go and Roach Ravager Hydra, which again, you need Storm. So Storm's on the way from Zest, which is beautiful. Love to see that Storm. Need it real bad against this particular composition. Is he going for a Hive at all? I think Dark's trying to win this thing without getting to Hive, which I find extremely confusing. So Dark's 4th base, whereas Zest is working on a 5th base. I think Zest is up in economy, you guys. It's 64 to 66 workers. Dark has the bigger army, but as long as it's over here, it doesn't really matter if he has the bigger army or not. And as Zest gets Storm, that is a great equalizer. It is more of an equalizer in Brood War, where Protoss usually will just die if they don't have Storm versus Zerg. And if they do have Storm, it looks like Storm is overpowered. It's pretty much the same thing here in StarCraft 2. You get Storm against especially this particular composition, which is harder to Storm dodge. Your units aren't quite as zippy as Zerglings would be. Or, you know, Mutalisks would be. You can dodge Storms pretty well with Mutas, but this thing, a little bit slower, a little more ponderous. Did he just accidentally kill one of his own units? I think he did. He's trying to free up supply a little bit. He is maxed out, by the by. This is 150 supply, but he's happily sitting on these 4 bases? Okay, so that's a 4th base. Falcon's counting skills are extremely poor. Everybody knows that. So Zealot's trying to do stuff, but they're all going to die or run for their little lives. You're just doing, you know, speed walking. Is that a jog or a speed walk? It's kind of down the other way. And Zest says, aha, your army's on that side of the map. Let's take down a hatchery. No, too scary. We don't want to engage on creep. We do have a bajillion storms available, though. We'll force field you out and storm you to death. Force field circle and then storm in the middle is brutal. Not as good as it used to be before Ravagers showed up, which I know was a long time ago now, but for those of us who are older folk, we remember the days. Oh no, the Overlord farm! Okay, Dark just got supply blocked a bit there. Trying to get a sandwich on in, though. Dark's coming from both sides. Zest holding on as well as he can. Warping in some Stalkers. No! No, loses the Warp Prism. Trying to force his way out the right side. With Storm, he's doing all right. He doesn't get surrounded. The Storm is especially good versus the Hydras, as they are glass cannons with not much HP, but they'll hit super hard if you let them do it long enough. And Zest says, I can't believe I survived with my life there. We're going to pull back just a little bit. But again, good for him. 4 base versus a 4 basing Dark. 67 to 66 workers. I kind of feel like Zest is doing fine here. He's got the Storm. He's got the tech that he needs. Dark doesn't seem to be going for anything tier 3 quite yet, as he can't, because his Hive is just now starting production. 9 Lurkers are going to hatch here very soon, though, from Dark. And Lurkers can be a real problem to deal with if you are Protoss, if you don't have enough Immortals. Which Immortals are here. Storm pretty good against Lurkers, too. Not incredible, but not bad. 3.4 rotogen. Right. God, one of the things that makes me more excited about The Last of Us 2 adaptation on HBO, or rather, The Last of Us, not 2. That's a video game, but the series, the TV show that's going to be on HBO, whenever that happens to happen, thanks to this coronavirus thing. But one of the dudes that was heavily involved with Chernobyl is going to be involved with this. And man, Chernobyl might have been the best TV that I saw in 2019. I still am blown away by it, to be honest with you. So doesn't want to engage with the Lurkers, does Zest. Got some Zealots trying to do stuff over here, but largely getting intercepted by Dark's army and causing problems. Dark's attempt at the 5th base gets canceled and mortared there. Storming the Lurkers in that mineral line is kind of hilarious. Here from Zest, look how patient he is being, too. He's like, I don't have to engage into these Lurkers. I'm going to toss some Storms down, force those to get out of there. More Zealots fairly well getting intercepted. 13 drones have gone down, though. Maybe some more damage has been done over there than I thought. Man, this is another group of Zealots. With +2 attack, mind you. So he's really trying to keep Dark's attention on the other side while just Alright, just engaging here, which not cost efficient. Zest at all. Third base, taking some hits. Storm and the lurkers again. Storm is not as good as in Brood War, where 2 storms will kill a lurker. 1 storm takes the lurker down to about 10 HP, and then it can be picked off easily. Not so in StarCraft 2. Storm is not as good. And Zerg players are like, are you kidding me? Storm is better in StarCraft, or in Brood War? Yes, it is. Actually, it is. Whoa! Forward blink. And Zest is feeling pretty good about this, you guys. He's taking down some drones. He's forcing the mining to stop at the third base. I kind of feel like Zest has this game won, y'all. I'm looking at it. He's got more workers. His army isn't as big, but he stopped all mining from 2 of Dark's bases. The lurkers are a bit of a problem, but, you know. Oh, he thought he got it before he blinked, but it had 1 HP. 1 HP remaining. Gas. That's an important gas geyser to take down because it's a Wretch Vespine geyser. Gas income is not going to be as healthy for Dark right now. Meanwhile, back at Zestville, he's just happy, man. He's not getting attacked. He's macroing. He's warping stuff in. This army is denying all mining at this base. This is why this is a risky base to take. It's a high risk, high reward because you have this Wretch Vespine geyser, but if you don't control this high ground, you're just going to be toast. Look at these drones. Just, no, you can't mine here. What are you trying to do? This base is getting mined happily from Dark. Is he going for anything else? I'm looking at it. This War Prism is trying to do stuff, but is dead. Hive is down. Going for a range upgrade for the lurkers. It's carriers. Zest is going for carriers when his opponent is largely going Roach, Ravager, Hydra, Lurker. I am not wrong when I say that carriers will destroy this composition of Darks. Lurkers can't shoot up. Hydras are horrendous against carriers. And Roaches are useless, as well as Ravagers. I mean, Ravagers, if they can, like, mass Corrosive Bile down a carrier, they're great. But, you know, a good Protoss player will never, ever, ever allow that to happen at all. All right, again, going for the sandwich here is Dark. I think he kind of needs to get this done, but he manages to find an angle to slip out of. He's throwing down storms on everything. He's not letting the lurkers get too many spines off when they burrow, and Dark does shove Zest off of his front porch here and allow him to mine from his 4th base. But a 1-to-1 base ratio is really bad for Dark right now. Like, exceptionally bad. Does Dark know there's carriers coming? I'm looking at it. His production tab says more Hydras, more Lurkers, more Lings. This is going to be a race. Can Zest get up to carriers? He already has a couple. Can he get up to enough to make a difference? And then is he going to win? Or is Dark going to overwhelm him before that happens? Yeah, these Stalkers are in trouble. That bonus damage versus Armored really comes into play versus Stalkers. We got a big warp in of Zealots. That Lurker Den is gonna get sniped. Infestation Pit, Evolution Chamber. The carriers are here. The storm is so good. That Lurker is not gonna stand a chance here. And Dark's like, we gotta get something done now. We are not getting home. We can't do much here. A storm to take down those Lings, trying to snipe down the High Templar. Storms on these ramps all the livelong day. Mothership here to cloak the units. The Zealots going to town to the main base. The Hive gets sniped as well. I think Dark might just be done here. He just lost all of his important tech. Dark Templar was in the mix for some reason. His army supply is 72 to 88. He has nothing that can shoot up. And Zest is your winner in 18 minutes and 49 seconds. Look at this. Still continuing to kill Zerg units here. Zest gets the win. He doesn't quite want to go home yet. He's savoring that one. And bam, Wardy's left the game. Again, incredible game. Originally cast by Wardy. Fantastic PvZ display from Zest. Yeah, surprise carriers, man. Sometimes surprise carriers will win games for you. Dark, unable to scout that it's coming. Really stuck in this Roach, Lurker, Hydra style play with some Zerglings. He has good upgrades across the board. He's got +2 missile attack. He's got +1 ground carapace. But again, no Vipers, no Infestors. And when it comes down to it, the Spellcasters for Zerg are just as important as the Spellcasters are for Protoss. Like, if you have Storm, yeah. you're going to do well. And if you have Vipers and Infestors, yeah, you're going to do well. But if you skip all those things against somebody as good as Zest is, you're going to have a bad time. So resources lost here today. I guess I had that up and I just shut it down. It is 22,000 for Zest to 27,000 for Dark. That is a lot of dead Zerg units. 41 drones killed during all of that harassment. All those Zealot attacks, all those Stalker hits. 24 Lurkers died. 7 Queens. The Hive got sniped. He got, mining denied to the 3rd and 4th for some time. The Storms are great. The Patience was amazing. He never let himself get completely surrounded when Dark was setting up for that. He never engaged into the Lurkers because he didn't need to. And then the Carriers were out, and the Lurkers didn't matter. Incredible display between these two players. All right. Well, fantastic. That's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.